Hello, sweet team. Welcome back to my channel. This is Sweet Ajele. If you can hear the excitement in my voice, that is because I'm sharing a 3-in-1 recipe with you all in this video. How to make your own homemade powdered Agbelima, Banku mix, and Kenkey mix. No freezer needed any longer. We're going to start by fermenting our cornmeal, and I'm using the Indian head white cornmeal together with the extra fine yellow cornmeal by Goya. You can use any brand that you prefer, but I like these two the best. In a bowl, add in your white cornmeal. To that, add half of the extra fine yellow cornmeal and mix everything together until it is well incorporated. For those of you that saw this coming after my cassava flour video, well, you read me well. I'll then add enough water to get a wet sand consistency, not muddy, okay? Wet. You don't want it to be muddy because you want this to be just right. But should you have too much water in it, no panic. Just let it sit, and by the next day, the water should settle on top of it and you should be able to decant it. Once you have the consistency you're going for, you can go ahead and compact it right in the bowl, but I like to transfer it into a separate bowl because I like to cover it to keep all the fermenting smell in one place, not all over my house. Okay, once you've added everything into your bowl or container, you want to push it down, press it down to compact it beautifully, and I use the back of a spoon to smoothing it up nicely and then cover it with a plastic wrap. And y'all know that this tip is from my mom. I would like to chill. If you haven't seen the video that we made together, I'll leave the link in the description for you to check out. While our cornmeal is fermenting, I'll be fermenting my cassava as well, and I'll leave it right in the bag. Okay, so this is 7 days later, and check it out. We do not have a lot of mess. The brown edges you see is because Sweet Ajele did not cover it well. So I'm just going to scrape that off, and then we'll transfer it into our dehydrator. And because I had the perfect wet sand consistency, it is not watery at all, but it has fermented beautifully. So you want to spread it out. Do not overload your dehydrator because then it'll take longer than usual to dry, and we don't want that. I'm going to be drying this overnight for about 12 hours, but if I check and it is not completely dried, I can always go ahead and add some more time. I'd also spread some out in a tray, and I'll set it outside to dry because, oh my goodness, it is a beautifully sunny day today, and I will not let that sun pass me by, okay? Yes, y'all, just look how nice and beautiful it is outside. But when you keep it outside, be sure to cover it up so that no bugs are getting in or flies trying to mess with your corn dough. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to keep that out, and then whatever is left in the container, I'll compact it back down, cover it again with the plastic wrap, and once the first batch is dry, I can go ahead and dry this as well. Or you can pack this up and put it in your freezer if you have the space. Okay, while our corn dough is doing its thing, I'm going to get started with my cassava dough. Yes, our Agbelima process. So all I'm doing now is opening up the cassava and taking out the core or stem. All right, once I take that out, I'll give it a quick rinse, and then I'll tear it up into my blender and blend it. Now, if you're using fresh cassava, please do not leave it out like this to ferment because it'll darken. Cut up your cassava, put it in water, Make sure the water is covering everything and then leave it out to ferment. That way you will have a beautiful color. But if you leave it out just like that, it's going to darken and you won't like it. So now that it's nice and washed, as I said, I'm just going to break it into pieces into the blender, add a little water to help my blender blend it, and I'll blend it until it is nice and smooth. I want this to be super smooth. Next, you're going to need a bowl with a strainer insert like this, but if you don't have one of these, don't worry, I'll show you another way. Line it up with a flour sack cloth and then pour in your blended cassava. I leave a little on the bottom because this was very liquidy, so I'm going to use that liquid to blend the rest and add it. I'll cover it up and allow the water to sip out. Now, if you don't have a bowl like this, just go ahead and use a regular bowl with a strainer like this or this one. Line it up with a clean kitchen towel and achieve the same goal, okay? It's been sitting now for about an hour, and as you can see, some of the water have sipped out, some have soaked into the towel as well. So what I'm going to do is to pull the excess towel together, and this is the water that we have out of it so far. I'm going to get rid of it, and I'll twist the towel to make it a little tighter, and then I'll sit heavy objects on it to get rid of more of the liquid, and I'll do the same with the other bowl. The sun-dried ones are ready. It took us the whole day. I stirred it every now and then, and it is perfect. The dehydrated one is also ready, so I'm just going to get it out of the dehydrator and set it aside and begin drying the cassava dough overnight. Pizza, jollof, banku and okra soup, sushi and pastries, all this and more. Sweet ajay, go, sweet ajay, go, sweet ajay. Just look how nice and dried out this is. Well, it still has some moisture in it, so we'll transfer it into the dehydrator and have it dry beautifully. Now, if you're using the sun, make sure you dry this on a good sunny day so that it doesn't discolor. When the sun is really hot and you put it in there, it still comes out nice and white. And this is the other batch. I mean, making your own cassava dough is so easy and fun to make. I love making it. And this is the next day. It is also nice and dry, so let the blending begin. I'm just going to get it out of the dehydrator, and we're gonna blend the cassava dough first and then the corn dough. Adiana to look on again. Gambling water, gambling fish. And sweet jelly. Continental food, madam. Food, madam. International food captain. Who show you how to make pizza, jollof, banku and okra soup, sushi and pastries. All this and more. Sweet jelly. Go, gawa, sweet jelly. Although my blender is quite good, I'm still going to sift this out to ensure that I have a nice smooth powder. Okay, it is optional. You don't have to do that because your banku or funfun is still going to come out perfect. But hey, I just wanted to do that. So yeah, look at it. So nice, so beautiful. I'll repeat the process until everything is nicely sifted out. And just like that, our homemade Agbelima flour is ready. Set it aside and we'll move on to our corn dough, our dried corn dough. I'm going to take you through the same process. I'll blend and sift it, and then we will put everything together beautifully.
Adiana to lock bonon again. Gambling butter, gambling fish. And sweet jelly. Mbao, mammy open. Continental food, madam. Ow, food, madam. International food captain. Who show you how to make pizza, jollof, banku and okra soup, sushi and pastries. All this and more. Sweet jelly. Go go, go go, gawa, go sweet jelly. Go go, gawa, sweet jelly.
Now, this is all I got after sifting, so it's not that bad. I'm going to grind this up in my coffee grinder. This is just so beautiful. Our Kenkey and cocoa flour is also ready. So there you have it, our Agbelima flour on one side and our Kenkey and cocoa flour on the other side. What about our Banku mix? No worries. In a bowl, I'm going to add in 6 cups of the Kenkey or cocoa flour. To that, I'll add 3 cups of our Agbelima flour. Now, the amount of Agbelima flour you add to your Kenkey and cocoa flour or corn dough flour, whichever way you want to call it, is fine by me. Depends on you. If you like your Banku with more Agbelima, then add more. I like to do the 2-to-1 ratio, which is what I have just done. And our homemade Banku mix flour or powder is ready. So now we're just going to transfer everything into an airtight container and keep it in our pantry. And this should last you for up to a year.
Adiana to lock bonon again. Gambling butter, gambling fish. And sweet jelly. Mbao, mammy open. Continental food, madam. Ow, food, madam. International food captain. Who show you how to make pizza, jollof, banku and okra soup, sushi and pastries. All this and more. Sweet jelly. Go go, go go, gawa, go sweet jelly. Go go, gawa, sweet jelly.
Well, let's see if it works, especially our Banku mix. So to a pot, I'm going to go ahead and add in some of my Banku mix flour. To that, I'll add some water, mix it all together to a nice and light consistency, and then we'll go through the Banku making process. I'll leave a link to how I make my Banku in the description box below, so do not forget to check it out. Definitely try this at home, especially if you're stretched for space in your freezer.
Adiana to lock bonon again. Gambling butter, gambling fish. And sweet jelly. Mbao, mammy open. Continental food, madam. Ow, food, madam. International food captain. Who show you how to make pizza, jollof, banku and okra soup, sushi and pastries. All this and more. Sweet jelly. Go go, go go, gawa, go sweet jelly. Go go, gawa, sweet jelly.
And the Banku is nice and ready. Look how nice and beautiful it is. No flavor compromised, just perfect. Make it hard, make it soft to your taste. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do not forget to give your girl a thumbs up. Thank you. Share and subscribe if you have not done that yet. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to my channel. This is Sweet Ajele. Thank you so much for subscribing. And to the Sweet team, I love you all so much. Until I see you in my next video, stay safe, keep loving each other, and remember that the love of God and family is life's greatest blessing. And guys, ke onamini ochemi sweet mahabotu. Bye y'all.
Adiana to lock bonon again. Gambling butter, gambling fish. And sweet ajele. Mbao, mami okbono. Continental food, madam. Ow, food, madam. International food captain.